Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Let us begin the class. I hope those who are not attending these classes, you all are seeing the videos of the classes regularly. I hope so. Okay. Yes. I'm audible to everyone, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So let us begin the class. In the last class, we started with increasing and decreasing functions, right? So we saw when a function will be increasing or when a function will be decreasing or neither increasing nor decreasing. And these are the certain conditions with that we saw. This is first definition. The first definition with respect to the, if the graph we have, then this gives you the clear idea. And sometimes when it is not feasible enough to use these conditions, we have seen the theorem 1. Okay. So what your theorem 1 says, when the function will be increasing, if f dash of x is greater than 0, strictly increasing. When it will be strictly decreasing, if f dash of x is less than 0. And if the derivative is 0, then the function will be a constant function. Is that correct? We have seen this much in the last class, and we started seeing the examples also how to find increasing and decreasing functions. Okay. So either we use the first definition or we use this theorem. And this theorem is actually very easy because derivative we can find. And what is the mechanism? Put f dash equals to 0, you will get the x value. That is what we call this point as
Critical point.
critical point. Okay. So using these, we will check whether the function is increasing or decreasing. Is that correct? Any doubts
Yes,
in the last class to anyone?
no, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone, anybody else? Any doubt in the last class? Okay. So let us begin the class then. Which example we stopped yesterday? Fifth example we finished, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
We will start from the sixth example. What they tell here is, again, same question. Find the intervals. Okay, find the intervals in which, okay, in which the following functions, in which the following functions are strictly increasing or strictly decreasing. So the first sub question is strictly increasing and the second sub question is strictly decreasing. So find the intervals in which the following functions are strictly increasing or decreasing. Okay. So I guess from this 1 or 2 I had given homework. Tell me, this I had given homework or what?
Yes, ma'am. Homework.
This was homework. Okay.
Ma'am, -5.
-5. Correct. -5. This was homework, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I will start with the next one. The second question that they are telling is this. This I had given homework? No, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So let us solve this. In here, I have to find the intervals in which this following function is increasing and decreasing. Strictly increasing and strictly decreasing. Okay. So first and foremost thing, we know that any function f of x is strictly increasing if f dash of x is greater than 0. Is that correct? And it
Yes, ma'am.
is strictly decreasing if f dash of x is strictly less than 0. Okay. So for this, first and foremost thing, we need f dash. So therefore, first and thing, you write your function as f of x. You can see that they have not labeled it. So whenever it is not labeled, you have to label it. Okay. So this is f of x. So differentiating with respect to x, f dash of x. The derivative of 10 will be 0. -6 as it is, x will be 1 and this is 2x. Okay. So if I solve further, this will be nothing but -6 minus 4x. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is -6 minus 4x. Now see here, usually in the first two examples, we had seen directly whether f dash is positive or whether f dash is negative. But here it depends on value of x. ಈಗ suppose ನಾನು x negative ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಈ negative ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ positive ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ but if this is larger number okay if this is larger number then it will remain as negative only. If it is if the term becomes larger positive or if the term becomes larger negative, then the cases will vary. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದು ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಟೇಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಸೇ ಸಪೋಸ್ 2 I take, okay, then in that case what is the answer? -14. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now suppose if I take x as say some -10, ಅವಾಗ ಏನಾಯ್ತಿದು -10 and this is plus 40. Now this is positive, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it can be positive, it can be negative. ನಾನು direct first example ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ we will not get the answer here. That is why they are telling find the intervals. Andre some values of x somewhere it will be increasing, and for some values of x somewhere it will be decreasing. Okay, so in order to find those intervals, what is our first mechanism?
F of x.
F dash of x equals to what? 0. Okay, so what is our f dash of x? -6 minus 4x equals to 0. So -6 equals to 4x. So x ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? -3/2. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so x is -3/2. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ? This we call as critical point. Okay, so using this x we will find the intervals. How much is this approximately? Is this -1.5 extra approximately? No, accurately 1.5, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so idu nimdu 0 ಆಯ್ತು. This is infinity, this is -infinity. So -1.5 somewhere here it is. Okay, between what and what? Between -1 and -2. Is this your -1.5?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes, so this is your -1.5 andre -3/2. So now you will get how many intervals? 2 intervals. This is your first interval and this is your second interval. Therefore the two disjoint intervals are, okay, therefore the two disjoint intervals are, one is -infinity to -3/2 and one more is -3/2 to infinity. Is this correct? Okay, so first let us take the first interval, -infinity to -3/2. So from this you take any value of x, whichever you wish, take any value of x. Okay, so from this shall I take -2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let us take f dash of x now. F dash of x ಏನಿದೆ? -6 ಇದೆ, -4 into -2. Okay, so ಇದೆಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? -6 plus 8, which is equals to 2. Is this greater than 0 or less than 0? Greater than 0. Therefore f of x is increasing or decreasing? Increasing. Okay, strictly increasing. In which interval? -infinity to -3/2. Similarly, you take the second case, that is -3/2 to infinity. Now you can take any value of x in this interval. Always 0 will be most helpful because many terms will become 0 there if you multiply certain things. Okay, so ಈ interval ನಲ್ಲಿ 0 include ಇದೆ, correct alva? So yes, I will take x as 0. Therefore f dash of x ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಇವಾಗ? -6 -4. Okay, so what is the answer now? -6, which is less than 0. So is the function increasing or decreasing here?
Decreasing.
Decreasing, strictly decreasing. Okay, in the interval. Which interval? -3/2 to infinity. And this is your required intervals. So two intervals, -infinity to -3/2, it is strictly increasing, and -3/2 to infinity, it is strictly decreasing. Is this clear to all 5 students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, any doubts in the mechanism to anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let us move on to the next example.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'll just remove this. Okay, the question remains the same. Okay, I'll just clear this out, everything. The question remains the same. Find the intervals of the following functions in which they are either strictly decreasing or strictly increasing. Okay, so next one, the third question. I hope this I have not given homework, I guess. So this is 9x square minus 12x plus 1. Okay, so you can see that it is not labeled. So make sure that you always label them. Okay, so this is, let f of x is -2x cube minus 9x square minus 12x plus 1. Okay, now again, we know, okay, when the function will be decreasing, we know that f of x is strictly increasing if f dash is greater than 0 and strictly decreasing if f dash is less than 0. Correct alva?
Yes, ma'am.
So first and foremost thing, from this condition, I know that I have to find f dash. Therefore, differentiating the function with respect to x, this minus 2 as it is, x cube differentiation will be
3x square.
3x square minus 9 into x square differentiation will be 2x minus 12 into x differentiation will be 1 and this will be 0.
0.
Okay? So just rearrange your terms little bit because we have to solve this further. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ವಾಡ್ರಾಟಿಕ್. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So 6 I can take common here.
Yes, ma'am.
6 I can take common, also minus I can take common. Okay. So ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು x square ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು 3x ಆಯ್ತು, ಸಾರಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ 3x ಆಯ್ತು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆ 2 ಆಯ್ತು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? I have taken minus out. All terms are negative, so this becomes positive. Okay. Yes. So can I solve this equation now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So first thing, okay, namge f dash ಸಿಕ್ತು ಇವಾಗ. Okay. So I got to know what is the value of f dash. I know that if f dash is greater than 0, it will be increasing. If it is less than 0, it will be decreasing. But whether this is positive or negative, ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, if I take any value of x as negative, this term will become negative, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, x square will be positive, ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಮೆನಿ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸಬ್ಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್, ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್, ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಏನೋ ತಗೊಂತೀರಾ ಆನ್ ದ ರಿಯಲ್ ಲೈನ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಕೂಡ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೈ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೆಕ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸಿಗಲ್ಲ. Therefore we will go for the mechanism now. Okay, so what is my first mechanism? What I have to substitute? Let f dash of x equals to what? 0. Okay, so this is the mechanism. So that is nothing but minus 6, and this is, like, this is equation 1. Idu namdu f of x. Now this is 3x plus 2 equals to 0. Okay, now if I shift minus 6 on the other hand, will it become 0?
Yes, ma'am.
0 by minus 6 aitu, 0 by any number 0 aitu, and solve this remaining quadratic equation. I have to get multiply 2 in such a way that I should get 3x. So can I multiply 2 into 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So 2 into 1 nimge 2 sigutte, 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so this is x plus 2, and similarly here it will be what? Plus 1 into x plus 2. Is this correct? So what are the two roots here? One is x plus 1 and the other one is x plus 2.
Plus 2.
So one value of x is minus 1. And what is one more value of x? Minus 2. How many roots you get here? 2 roots. Okay. So 2 roots is sikkidrinda, we will plot them. Say if this is 0, then this is your minus 1 and this is your minus 2. Correct? So tell me what are the intervals now? One is minus infinity to
Minus 1.
2. Minus 2 alva?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then minus 2 to
Minus 1.
and minus 1 to infinity. Okay, so therefore the three disjoint intervals are, one is minus infinity to minus 2, one more is minus 2 to minus 1, and last one is minus 1 to infinity. So how many times I have to check here?
3 times.
Okay, so let us take the first one, minus infinity to minus 2. From this, whichever value you want, you can take. Tell me which value I shall take from minus infinity to minus 2.
3.
Shall I take minus 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನ f dash ನಲ್ಲಿ substitute ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ದು f dash? This, the
Minus 6.
equation 1, correct? So this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
minus 6 as it is. Little bit calculation I will do directly here. Okay, first minus 3 square ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? 9 ಆಯ್ತು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? 3 into minus 3 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? Minus 9 ಆಯ್ತು. Plus 2. Okay, so this and this is 0. ಏನು ಇತ್ತು? Minus 6 into 2, which is minus 12, which is what? Less than 0. So what happens? F of x is strictly decreasing. In which interval? Minus infinity to minus 2. Are you all understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Second interval. The second interval? Minus infinity to minus 1. Okay. So minus infinity to minus 2 to minus 1. Okay. Minus 2 to minus 1. ಏನು ತಗೋಬಹುದು ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Minus 1.5 ತಗೋಬಹುದಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
1 ಮತ್ತೆ 2 ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ 1.5 ತಗೋಬಹುದು. So 1.5 ಅಂದ್ರೆ nothing but minus 3 by 2. Correct? So now again you substitute in f dash. So ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು 6 ಆಯ್ತು. X square minus 3 by 2 whole square ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು 9 by 4 ಆಯ್ತು. Minus sorry plus 3 into minus 3 by 2 ಆಯ್ತು. ಇದು plus 2 ಆಯ್ತು. Okay. So ಇದೆಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು minus 6. This is 9 by 4 minus 9 by 2 plus 2. Correct? So take the LCM and solve. ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತಿದು minus 6. What is the LCM here? 4 is the LCM. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is 18 plus 2. Okay, so this is minus 6. Idu minus 9 aitu plus 2 aitu. So this terms comes to be negative, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so negative ಏನಾಯ್ತು positive aitu. So this is greater than 0. So what happens? The function f of x is strictly increasing in which interval? Minus 2 to minus 1. Is this correct? Okay. And the last interval. What is last interval? Yes, what is last interval? The third interval is minus 1 to infinity. So from this, take any value of x. Shall I take 0?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 0 will be convenient. Yav interval nalli 0 lie agutte, always take 0. It will be convenient to conclude your answer. So f dash of x. So minus 6 into 0 square 0 aitu. 3 into 0, 0 aitu. Plus 2. Okay. So minus 6 plus 2 eshtaitu? Minus 12, which is less than 0. So again, what happens? F of x is strictly decreasing. In which interval? Minus 1 to infinity. So these are your 3 intervals. So andre ಏನಾಯ್ತು? Minus infinity to minus 2 ದಲ್ಲಿ decrease ಆಯ್ತು. Okay. ಮತ್ತೆ minus 2 ಇಂದ minus 1 ನಲ್ಲಿ increase ಆಯ್ತು. Again minus 1 to infinity it is decreasing. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubts to any of the students again?
No, ma'am.
Is everyone understanding this mechanism?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. One second. I guess the next question I had given homework. Is this the homework question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us move on. We will discuss homework later. Let us move on. It's the last question from this. Andre, find the intervals in which they are increasing or they are decreasing. Okay. So this is the next question. X plus 1 whole cube into x minus 3 whole cube. Is this product of two functions or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Be very careful. Okay. This is the product of two functions. So first thing, you write this as f of x. Okay. So this is x minus 3 whole cube. Now we know that it will be increasing, strictly increasing if f dash is greater than 0. If f dash is less than 0, then it will be strictly decreasing. Okay. So I have to find f dash now. Therefore, differentiating f of x with respect to x. Tell me which rule I have to apply here?
UV rule.
UV rule, because this is product of two functions, correct? So UV rule ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? Derivative of first function, second function as it is, plus, okay? Again, which function as it is? U as it is, and derivative of your v. What is v function here?
X minus 3
whole cube, correct? Now, treat it as x cube. Will the chain rule come here?
Yes, ma'am.
Chain rule ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, okay? Be very careful. So treat it as x cube. X cube derivative ಏನು?
3x square.
3x square. Okay. ಆದ್ರೆ x ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ? x plus 1. Okay. Again, derivative of x plus 1. Derivative of x ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 1 ಆಯ್ತು. Derivative of 1 ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 0 ಆಯ್ತು. And which term as it is? X minus 3 whole cube as it is. Okay. Now, x plus 1 whole cube as it is. Again, treat it as x cube. What is derivative of x cube again?
3x square.
3x into x square. Okay. ಆದ್ರೆ x ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ x minus 3 ಇದೆ. So adu derivative ತಗೋಬೇಕು, which is 1 minus 0. So just rearrange the terms. This is x plus 1 whole square. This is x minus 3 whole cube. Plus here also we have 3. 3 into 1 is 3. X plus 1 whole cube. And x minus 3 whole square. This is your f dash of x. Okay. Now see here. From this I have to find out the value of x, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಇದನ್ನ equate to 0 ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. Then you start solving. Okay. So ಇದನ್ನ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ equate to 0 ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ you can see that directly solve ಮಾಡೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So solve this little bit so that you can solve this equation. Can I take 3 common from all the terms here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 3 common ತಗೋಬಹುದು. Tell me x plus 1 common idea 2 times in both the terms.
Yes, ma'am.
2 times it is common. Okay, so ಇದು 2 times common ಇದೆ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದು ಕಾಮನ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ x minus 3 for how many times?
2
2
times.
times. Okay, so this is x minus 3 2 times. Okay, so this 2 times you have taken out. What is remaining here? X minus 3 is remaining. Okay, plus 3 you took common. X minus 3 2 times you took common. This you have taken 2 times common. How many times it is remaining? 1 time
One.
it is remaining. Okay, so solve this. This is x plus 1 whole square, x minus 3 whole square. Now what is x plus x? 2x, and minus 3 plus 1 will give you
-2.
minus 2. Now this is your f dash of x. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
What I have solved? Any doubts to anyone in this particular question to anyone?
No, ma'am.
ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರೀಅರೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇದು ನಮ್ದು ಎಫ್ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ನಮ್ದು ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಸಮ್ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ, ನಾನು ಇದನ್ನ ಝೀರೋಗೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಝೀರೋಗೆ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಈಕ್ವೇಶನ್ ಟಿಡಿಯಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬಿಟ್ ಅರೇಂಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೌ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು 0. ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ವಿ ಈಕ್ವೇಟ್ ನೌ?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is nothing but 3 into x plus 1 whole square, x minus 3 whole square, 2x minus 2 whole square equals to 0. Okay, so tell me, do we have 3 factors here?
Yes, ma'am.
So 3 factors ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರಿಂದ ನಂಗೆ ಏನಂತ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, either x plus 1 square is 0 or x minus 3 whole square is 0 or what? 2x minus 2 equals to 0. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all the multiplication of say a into b into c equals to 0. Okay, it is like a into b into c equals to 0. This is what you do in your quadratic also. 2 factors you'll get. So either first factor is also 0, second factor is also 0. Similarly here, how many factors I have? 3 factors. Correct alva? Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Solve this. If I take square root on both sides, nange ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ? x plus 1 equals to 0. Correct? So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು? x equals to minus 1. So if I take square root on both sides again, it will be x minus 3 equals to 0. So ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ? x equals to 3. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು? 2x equals to 2 ಸಿಕ್ತು. So x ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 1 ಆಯ್ತು. So what are your critical points, or in general, what are the values of x? X is either minus 1 or it is 3 or it is 1. Tell me how many critical points you got?
3.
3.
Critical points you got. 3 critical points ಸಿಕ್ಕರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ intervals ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಗ್ತವೆ?
4.
4 intervals we will get. Okay, so this is 4 intervals. Yes. So I will just plot here. This is minus infinity to infinity. So first here somewhere here we'll get minus 1. Then here it will be 0. Then here you will get 1. Then here you will get 3. Correct? So what is your first interval? Minus infinity to minus 1. Then minus 1 to 1.
1.
Okay. So minus infinity to minus 1. Then minus 1 to 1. Next will be 1 to 3. And last one will be 3 to infinity. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now I have to start checking. Any 2 I will do. Remaining 2 you will do.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ನಾನು ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಇದನ್ನ one ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Say x equals to, so from this shall I take minus 2? Shall I take minus 2 from this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So ಈಗ f dash of x, ನಿಮ್ದು f dash of x ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ. This is your f dash of x. So ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ x ಇದೆ, x ಇದ್ದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ನೀವು minus 2 ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕು ಇವಾಗ. Okay. So be very careful. ನಾನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. x plus 1. x ಏನಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ?
-2 plus 1
minus 2 plus 1. minus 2 plus 1 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? minus 1. minus 1 square ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? 1.
minus.
Okay. Next ಇಲ್ಲಿ minus 2. minus 2 minus 3 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? minus 5. minus 5 square ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? 25. Okay. Here again minus 2 ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದೀವಿ. 2 into minus 2 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು?
-4.
minus 4. minus 4 minus 2 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು?
-6.
6. Correct? Now tell me, is this multiplication here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So plus into plus plus ಆಯ್ತು. Again plus into plus plus ಆಯ್ತು. But plus into minus ಏನಾಯ್ತು?
minus.
ಆಯ್ತು. So this is less than 0. Therefore, f of x is what? Strictly decreasing. In which interval? Minus infinity to minus 1. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I will do the last one. You do the remaining two. Okay. Last ಏನಿದೆ? 3 to infinity ಇದೆ. So 3 to infinity ದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು one value ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ x. Okay. Shall I take 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if I take 4, f dash of x. So 3 into. So ಈಗ ಬನ್ನಿ f ಗೆ. x ಏನಂತ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? 4. 4 plus 1 ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 5. 5 square ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 25. Okay. Again here it is 4. 4 minus 1 ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 3 ಆಯ್ತು. Sorry, 4 minus 3 ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 1 ಆಯ್ತು. 1 square ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 1. Again here you have taken 4. 4 into 2 is
8.
8. 8 minus 2 is 6. Tell me, is this greater than 0 or not?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
are positive.
Yes, ma'am.
All are positive. Therefore, f of x is strictly increasing in which interval? 3 to infinity. Is this clear with everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So ನೀವು just ಈ f dash of x ಏನಿದೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಫ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು. ಓಕೆ, ಫೇರ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಇನ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. ರಫ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬಾಕಿ ಇರೋ ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಮೈನಿಂಗ್. ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಡೂ ಇಟ್? ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಟ್ರೈ ಇಟ್?
Yes, ma'am.
ಸೊ ಈಗ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಫ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಫ್ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಆ ಎಫ್ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಐ ಗಿವ್ ಯು ಅ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಎಫ್ ಡ್ಯಾಶ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್, ಎಫ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಚೆಕ್. Yes, and from this, like strictly increasing, strictly decreasing, you will get one question. Okay, 2 marks ಅಥವಾ 3 marks ಆ ತರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Copy it.
Ma'am, -1 to 1 strictly decreasing.
Strictly decreasing ಆಗುತ್ತಾ?
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
okay, 1 to 3 it will be increasing. 1 to 3 it will be increasing. Correct? Here it will come decreasing and here it will come increasing. Check. Okay. Shall I clear the board?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone copied? All 6 students, everyone copied?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. Okay. ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ, next question is again same only. ಇದು interval ಈ meaning ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿ? f is increasing in 3 to infinity ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? For every value of x, x belongs to what? 3, infinity. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ರಿಯಲ್ ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 to infinity ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆ ಅದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಹೌದಲ್ವಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
So if this is the interval, okay, minus infinity to -1 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? x belongs to in this interval and every value of x infinite numbers ನಮಗೆ ಬರ್ತವೆ. There it will be decreasing ಅಂತ. Okay. So shall I clear the board once again? I'll ask you. Shall I clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone? Okay. Yes. So let us move on. Same question, same mechanism. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ question twist ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? Find the values of x. Okay. Find the values of x for which the function y equals to x into x minus 2 whole square, okay, is increasing function ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, so it is an increasing function ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? Understand the question. Find the value of x. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ this is your graph. Somewhere ಇದೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಗ್ರಾಫ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Graph ಯಾವ ಗ್ರಾಫ್? x into x minus 2. Okay, so I have not plotted it correctly. Assume. Okay, so what they are asking, for what value of x it is increasing? Andre, tell me, suppose it is increasing from here to here. Is this increasing for all these values of x?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, andre nothing but, is this increasing in this interval?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so basically ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇನೋ ಈ ತರ ಬಂತು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್. ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಇದೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್. Now, can you find infinite numbers here? No. So what we will find? Instead, we will find the intervals. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
There
ma'am.
will be infinite numbers. Okay. Many infinite numbers will be there for which it will be increasing. We cannot find that. So we will find interval itself. Okay. So given, what is given? X into x minus 2 whole square. Okay. So we know that this is f of x. Okay. When it will be increasing, if f dash is greater than 0. Okay. When it will be decreasing, if f dash is less than 0. Correct, Alva? So I have to find f dash or no here?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, therefore differentiate. Okay. Now tell me, is this a chain rule again?
Yes, ma'am.
Chain rule bande barutte illi. So first you treat it as x square anta treat ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ.
2x.
2x square ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? 2x
2.
ಅಂತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ x ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ?
X of x minus 2.
Okay. So again I have to differentiate this x into x minus 2. Correct, Alva? So tell me, is this again UV rule here?
Yes, ma'am.
Because x is one function, x minus 2 is one more function. So this is, I'll repeat my question. This is in the form of composition. Okay. So x square anta treat ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ derivative ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 2x ಆಯ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ x ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ? x into x minus 2 ಇದೆ. So ನನಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ derivative of x into x minus 2 ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So this is 2 into. So if I solve this, this is x minus 2 as it is. ಈಗ I will do little bit directly here. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? u dash. u dash ಅಂದ್ರೆ x derivative ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 1. Which term as it is?
X minus 2.
Minus 2 as it is. Plus
X.
u as it is v dash. v dash ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ?
1
1
minus.
minus 0. Okay, so this is 2 into x minus 2 into ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಯ್ತು? x plus x ಏನಾಯ್ತು?
X minus.
x plus x ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? x plus x ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 2 ಆಯ್ತು. Sorry, 2x ಆಯ್ತು and minus 2 as it is. Now this is your required f dash of x. Okay. Any doubts still here to anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay, f dash find ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. Only 1 or 2 steps extra ಆಯ್ತು because it was a composition of functions. ಅದು ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರಿಂದ we applied chain rule. Okay, now you go for your mechanism. Okay, what is the first step I will consider? Let f dash of x is 0. So f dash of x is 0 andre how many factors I have here?
2 factors.
2 or 3?
3 factors.
Okay, 2 ಹೇಗೂ 2 ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ 0 ಆಯ್ತು. So one factor is x. What is one more factor?
X minus
2. What is one more factor?
2x
2x
minus 2.
minus 2. So either x is 0 or x minus 2 is 0 or 2x minus 2 is 0. So ಇದರಿಂದ x 0 ನೇ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ? x ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2 ಅಂತ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ? x equals to 1 ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ.
1.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
2 ಆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಯ್ತು. So 2x equals to 2 which will give you x as 1. Okay. So tell me what are the factors now? So what are the values of x? First one, it is 0.
Minus
Then 1. Then it is 2.
2.
Correct? So what are your intervals? First interval is minus
Minus
infinity to 0. Then 0 to 1. Then 1 to 2. And then
2 to infinity.
infinity. Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now I have to start again. I will take the first interval. Tell me any value. Shall I take x equals to minus 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 0 minus infinity to 0 only x equals to minus 1 ತಗೊಂಡೆ. So I will do little bit directly here. This is your f dash of x. Okay. This is your f dash of x. So 2 ಹಂಗೆ ಉಳಿತು. x ಏನಿದೆ?
Minus 1.
Minus 1 ಇದೆ. Okay. So again ಇಲ್ಲಿ x ಏನಿದೆ? Minus 1. Minus 1 minus 2 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು?
Minus 3.
Minus 3 ಆಯ್ತು. Okay. Again x ಏನಿದೆ? Minus 1. Okay. Minus 1 into 2 minus 2 ಆಯ್ತು. Minus 2 minus 2 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು?
Minus 4.
Okay. Now this minus and minus plus. But plus into minus?
Minus.
Minus. So ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು? Strictly decreasing ಆಯ್ತು. ನಮ್ಗೆ decreasing ಬೇಕಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಬರೀ increasing ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. So next you go 0 to 1. Okay. 0 to 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಏನ್ ತಗೋಬಹುದು? 1/2 ತಗೋಬಹುದಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 0 to 1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1/2 ತಗೋಬಹುದು. So f dash. Okay. So 2 into x ಏನಾಯ್ತು? 1/2 ಆಯ್ತು. Okay. So this is 1/2 minus 2. And this is 2 into 1/2 minus 2. Okay. So this is, ಇದು ಹೇಗೂ cancel ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 ಆಯ್ತು. What is 1 by 2 minus 2? Will this be negative or no?
Yes, ma'am.
This will come negative only. Here and here this cancelled. 1 minus 2 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? Minus 1. Negative into negative?
Positive.
Positive. So it is strictly increasing. In which interval? 0 to 1. Okay. So ಈಗ ನಮಗೆ 1 increasing ಸಿಕ್ತು. Still how many intervals are remaining? Still 2 are remaining. Okay. What is next one? What is next one?
1 to 2.
1 to 2. Okay. So 1 to 2 nalli. Which value I can take? 1.5 can I take? 3
Yes,
by
ma'am.
2. Okay. So f dash. F dash was 2 into x. X ಏನಾಯ್ತು 3 by 2 ಆಯ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ 3 by 2 minus 2 ಆಯ್ತು. And 2 into 3 by 2 minus 2. Okay. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 cancel ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 cancel ಆಯ್ತು. This is 3. 1.5 minus 2 will be negative only, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is negative, okay, which is less than 0. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ decreasing ಆಯ್ತು. ನಮಗೆ ಇದು ಬೇಡ. Okay. Next, they are asking for increasing. Next, what is last interval?
2 to infinity.
2 to infinity. Take any value from 2 to infinity. Okay. So 2 to infinity. Now shall I take 3 here?
Yes, ma'am.
X equals to 3. So f dash ಏನಾಯ್ತು 2 into x into x minus 2. X minus 2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 3 minus 2 ಆಯ್ತು. 2 into 3 minus 2. Will this be positive? Definitely.
Yes,
ಇದು
ma'am.
positive ಇದೆ. 3 minus 2 positive ಆಯ್ತು. ಇದು ಕೂಡ positive ಆಯ್ತು. So it is greater than 0. Therefore, it is increasing in which interval?
2 to
To
infinity.
infinity. Okay. Therefore, where all it is increasing, if x belongs to which interval was
0,
that?
comma
0 to 1 and x belongs to 2
2 to
to
infinity.
infinity. These are the intervals in which it will be increasing. Okay. So any doubts in this question to anyone again?
No, ma'am.
Any doubt to anyone? Yes. All 7 students. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Yes, I'll give you a moment just to see that question. Oh, I'll clear the board. Yes. So next one, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ next easy ಇರೋದು ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? Prove that the function given by f of x equals to x cube minus 3x square plus 3x minus 100 is increasing. Okay, is increasing in R. Tell me what is the meaning of R? Which set is R? Set of real numbers. So what they are telling is prove that this function is increasing on R. Andre, if you start plotting this on real numbers, okay, how many real numbers we have? Infinite. Okay, so at every value of x, this is increasing anta artha. Correct? Okay, so they are telling prove that the function f of x is increasing in R. Increasing in R andre every value of x where x is belonging to R means for every real number it is increasing anta artha. Okay, so first and foremost thing, when we know that it is increasing, we know that f of x is strictly increasing. You can say increasing if f dash of x is what?
Greater than 0.
Greater than 0. Correct? Now, where x is belonging here, x is belonging to real numbers. Okay. Therefore, we know that f of x is given from this. Can I find out f dash of x?
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
easy. Okay. So this is therefore f dash of x equals to x cube ಏನಾಯ್ತು 3x square. Now x square ಏನಾಯ್ತು 2x. 2 into 3 ಏನಾಯ್ತು 6. Okay. Plus 3 into 1. And this is anyhow 0. Okay. So from remaining terms, what I can take common here? 3 I can take common. Howda? So this is x square minus 2x plus 1. Is this correct? Now, if I solve this, tell me what is x square minus 2x plus 1? Nothing but this is x square minus x plus 1. Okay, so ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ roots. One is x minus 1 and ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಏನು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ minus 1 ಅಂತಾನೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. So what I will get here, what are the two roots? X minus 1, x minus 1. What is x minus 1 and x minus 1? Nothing but x minus 1 whole square. Is this correct?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
this is your f dash of x. Okay. ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? When it will be strictly increasing if f dash is greater than 0. Tell me for any value of x. Okay. Square will be always positive or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ value of x ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Let it be negative, let it be 0, or here also you will get positive one because it is square. This is always positive. 3 into any positive number will become positive only, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Always. Okay. So ಏನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ always positive ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Therefore ಏನಾಯ್ತು? f of x is definitely increasing ಆಯ್ತು. ಹೌದಾ? So therefore f of x is definitely increasing for all values of x belonging to R. Okay. Now tell me if it is strictly increasing, definitely it will be increasing or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Strictly increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ increase ಆಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That is what they had asked. Therefore your f of x is increasing. Why it is increasing? Because we got this as f dash of x and this is a square term. Square term is always positive. Positive into 3 will be again positive. Therefore your f dash is greater than 0. And that's your conclusion. Any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. So ಇದರಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ log function, log sin x ಆ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಏನ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. So we will do only what is required. Next, what they tell is prove that the function f of x, okay, prove that f of x given by x square minus x plus 1 is neither increasing nor it is decreasing in the interval, open interval minus 1 to plus 1. Okay. So ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? Prove that this function f of x. What is f of x given? X square minus x plus 1. Okay. Show that it is neither increasing nor decreasing in the interval. Which interval? Minus 1 to plus 1. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ it is neither increasing nor decreasing. Tell me, when do you say that it is neither increasing nor decreasing? ಯಾವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ neither increasing nor decreasing ಅಂತ? Can you see this fifth graph here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ತರ ಇದ್ರೆ what do we call it is neither increasing nor decreasing. Correct. So we will see ಏನು. ಸೊ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಏನ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು? It is increasing if f dash is 0. It is strictly decreasing if f dash is less than 0. Okay. So we will go for our traditional method only. ನನ್ಗೆ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು ಅದು ಒಂದೇ ಥಿಯರಮ್. Okay. ಆ ತರ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು if I start my answer. Okay. So I will just start my answer. Given f of x. What is given f of x? X square minus x plus 1. Okay. So I will find f dash from this. So x square ಏನಾಯ್ತು 2x. ಇಲ್ಲೇನಾಯ್ತು minus 1 plus 0. That is nothing but f dash of x ಏನಾಯ್ತು 2x minus 1 ಆಯ್ತು. Let this is equation 1. Okay. So ಈಗ critical point ಹೇಗೆ find ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು? Let f dash of x is 0. Okay. So ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ 2x minus 1 equals to 0 ಆಯ್ತು. So x value ಏನಾಯ್ತು? Critical point value ಏನಾಯ್ತು 1 by 2. Okay. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. So critical point ಏನಾಯ್ತು x equals to 1 by 2 is your critical point. Okay. So ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ plot ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ 1 by 2. So this is minus. ಇದು suppose 0 ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇದು 1 ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ this is your 1 by 2. Correct ಅಲ್ವಾ? Is that your 1 by 2 term?
Yes, ma'am.
Between 0 and 1. So you will get two roots here. Sorry, not roots. Intervals. What is your first interval? Minus infinity to
1 by 2.
And what is your one more? 1 by
1
2
by
to
2.
infinity. Okay. So first case ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ minus infinity to 1 by 2. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು x value ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Which will be convenient? 0 convenient, right? Because ಇಲ್ಲಿ 0 lie ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So f dash of x ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ 2 into 0 minus 1 ಆಯ್ತು. So ಇದೇನಾಯ್ತು minus 1 which is less than 0. Therefore f of x is what? Strictly decreasing. From where to where? minus infinity to 1 by 2. Correct? Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Next. So what is next one? 1 by 2 to infinity. Okay. Tell me any one value from this.
1.
Okay. So okay, fine. We will take 1. Then what will be f dash of x? 2 into 1 minus 1. Okay. So ಏನಾಯ್ತು answer 1 ಆಯ್ತು, which is greater than 0. Therefore, f of x is what? Strictly increasing. In which interval? 1 by 2 to infinity. Correct? Is this correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. ಈಗ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. So this is your minus 1. This is your plus 1. Okay. So I will draw here once again. This is your minus 1. This is your plus 1. So somewhere here we had this 1 by 2. Correct? ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಓಕೆ ಮೈನಸ್ ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟಿ ಟು 1 by 2 ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಓಕೆ.
Yes, ma'am.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು?
Increase.
ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಈಗ ಮೈನಸ್ 1 ಗೆ ನೀವು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಈಗ ಮೈನಸ್ 1 ಇಂದ 1 ವರೆಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ನಾನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಈ ಜಾಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಡು ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಸ್ ನೈದರ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಟೇಕ್ ಮೈನಸ್ 1 ಟು ಪ್ಲಸ್ 1, ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಐ ಟೇಕ್ ಮೈನಸ್ 1 ಟು ಪ್ಲಸ್ 1, ಇಷ್ಟು ಓಕೆ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಹೈಲೈಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. This much it is increasing and sorry decreasing, and this much it is increasing. So ನೀವು overall minus 1 to plus 1 ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಇದು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಷ್ಟು ಇದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. So is this nothing but minus 1 to plus 1 ನಲ್ಲಿ it is neither increasing nor decreasing. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if you want, I will just draw once again here. So ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು minus 1 ಮತ್ತೆ plus 1 ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಯಾವ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿತ್ತು?
1 by
minus
2.
1 by 2 ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ಸೊ ಈಗ ಇದನ್ನ minus 1 by 2 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ಕೊಂತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಸೊ ಇಷ್ಟು ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದು ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ minus 1 to plus 1. ಓಕೆ. minus 1 to plus 1 ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So can we call this as neither increasing nor decreasing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So that's your conclusion. ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವರು? Show that it is neither increasing nor decreasing in minus 1 to 1. So therefore ಇಷ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು. So my 1 by 2 lies between minus 1 to plus 1. So it is neither decreasing nor increasing. Any doubts to anyone?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this much, if you this kind of examples only you will not get much actually. Okay, one more I will do. This gets over. In here, this is a multiple choice question. The interval in which the function y equals to x square into e to the power minus x is increasing. Okay, it is increasing is, and you have got the options. Option A minus infinity to plus infinity, option B minus 2 to 0, option C 2 to infinity, and option T 0 to 2. Okay, ಈಗ ಅವರು ಏನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? Function is increasing. Okay. Tell me, if it is strictly increasing, definitely it will be increasing or no? Yes, okay. Strictly increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, this is strictly increasing. So strictly increasing ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ increase ಆಗೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. What I have to find here?
Interval.
Intervals, okay. So we will go back to our theorem. So let y equals to x square into e to the power minus x, okay. So is this product rule again?
Yes, ma'am.
So first, derivative of first term, second term as it is, plus first term as it is, derivative of your second term. Okay. So what is derivative of x square?
2x.
2x. Okay. 2x e to the power minus x hange ulitu, plus x square ಹಂಗೆ ಉಳಿತು. What is derivative of e to the power minus x?
minus e to
e
the
to the power minus x. I have told you this in the continuity and differentiability chapter. So solve ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So this is plus into minus ಏನಾಯ್ತು minus ಆಯ್ತು. Okay. So ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಕಾಮನ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾಮನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. It will help you to find later. Okay. X I can take common from all the terms.
yes ma'am,
X ತಗೋಬಹುದು.
e to the power
e to the power minus x ಕೂಡ ತಗೋಬಹುದು. So ಇಲ್ಲೇನು ಉಳಿತು 2 ಉಳಿತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 1 time x ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಉಳಿತು 1 time ಉಳಿತು. Okay, that's it. Okay, so now this is your f dash of x. Like this is equation 1. Now what I will assume,
f of
let f dash of x is 0. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ f dash of x, f dash of x ಏನಿದೆ, this is your f dash of x. Correct alva? Okay,
yes ma'am,
now see here, this is a exponential function. Correct?
yes ma'am,
Exponential function is never 0. Remember that exponential function is never 0. So ಆದ್ರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು, either x is 0 or 2 minus x is 0. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು, either x is 0 or x is 2. Okay, so how many values of x we got? 2 values. So what is 1? 0, and what is one more? 2. So minus infinity to 0 ಆಯ್ತು, 0 to 2 ಆಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಏನಾಯ್ತು 2 to infinity. Okay, so now start solving your intervals to check whether f dash comes to be positive or f dash comes to be negative. Okay, so till I just remove this everything, analytically start doing. ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮೈಂಡ್ ನಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ. Okay, yes, exponential is always positive. Remember that. Okay, so first case, first ಏನಿದೆ minus infinity to 0. ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು x ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. Shall I take minus 1 from this?
yes ma'am,
Okay, if I take minus 1, f dash ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು x into e to the power minus x, 2 minus x. Okay, so x is minus 1. So this is minus of minus 1, and this is 2 minus 1. So this comes to be minus 1. Okay, this is e to the power 1, and this is 1. Is this negative?
ma'am, minus of minus 1 plus 1 ಆಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ,
Where?
2x
Okay, 2 plus 1. Okay, 2 plus 1 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು 3 ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, so now is this negative?
yes ma'am,
Yes, negative ಆಯ್ತು. ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಬೇಡ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ
positive
positive, because increasing ಬೇಕು ನಮ್ಗೆ. So let us check for 0 to 2. Okay, 0 to 2 ನಲ್ಲಿ shall I take x as 1?
yes ma'am,
So if x is 1, e to the power minus 1, and this is 2 minus 1. Okay, so this e to the power minus 1 ಅನ್ನ ನಾನು 1 by e ಅಂತ ಬರಿಬೋದಲ್ವಾ.
yes ma'am,
So this is always positive. So first one is positive, second one is also positive, 2 minus 1 is also what? 1. Is this positive? Yes. Okay, so ಯಾವ್ದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ
0 common,
2. Okay, so options ಏನಾಗಿತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ದು, these were your options. Option A, option B, option C, and this is your option D. So what's your option answer here?
option D,
Option D. That's your answer, which is 0, 2. Is this clear with everyone?
yes ma'am,
Okay, so this much is enough from this. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ log of sin x, log of cos x, ಆ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. That usually will not be asked. If at all it is asked, we will discuss that in CET classes. Is that clear?
yes ma'am,
So for your annual preparation, these kind of examples are enough, and so a little bit solved examples also. Any doubts?
no ma'am,
Okay, fine. I will just clear out this everything. Okay, those who have solved homework problems, tell me what are the answers. First, x square minus 4x plus 6. Is this the homework question I had given?
yes ma'am,
So ಈ question ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ರೂಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ 2 ಅಂತ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? Critical point will be 2, right?
yes ma'am,
Okay,
minus
so you get
infinity
2
to
intervals, minus infinity to 2 and 2 to infinity. In first interval, whether it is increasing or decreasing?
decreasing,
Strictly decreasing. Here it is
strictly increasing,
strictly increasing. Okay, then which question I had given? Quadratic equation ಬರೋ ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ.
Yes, ma'am.
4x cube minus 6x square minus 72x plus 30 I had given. So for this, you will get the roots as x as -2 and x as 3. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So your intervals must be, these should be your intervals. Okay. Now in this, it is
Increase.
increasing, strictly increasing. In this, it is
Decreasing.
and in this, it is
Increasing.
increasing. Tell me, those who have solved, everyone has got these answers?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ?
6 minus 9x minus x square.
This also I had given, no? X square plus 2x minus 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. ಏನ್ ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂತಲ್ಲಿ?
-1.
X as -1 ಅಂತ ರೂಟ್ ಬಂತು. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಸೊ minus infinity to -1 ಸಿಕ್ತು, -1 to infinity ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ this is decreasing.
Decreasing.
And here it will be strictly increasing. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And last, I guess one more I had given. I guess this was the question. 6 minus 9x minus x square alva?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 9 minus 9 by 2 ಬರುತ್ತಾ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇದಕ್ಕೆ?
Yes, ma'am.
ಸೊ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದಾವ್ದಾಯ್ತು? minus infinity to minus 9 by 2. minus 9 by 2 to infinity ಆಯ್ತು. Here it will be increasing. And here it will be decreasing. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I guess everyone has solved and everyone got the answers. In first interval, it will be strictly increasing, and in second interval, it will be strictly decreasing. Any doubts in the today's session to anyone?
No, ma'am.
All
No, ma'am.
all 6 students?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So this is about increasing and decreasing. ಬಾಕಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಉಳಿದಿರೋ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಲಾಗ್ ಬರೋ ತರ ಇರೋ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ನ ಸಿಇಟಿ ದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಾಡ್ರಾಟಿಕ್, ಕ್ಯೂಬಿಕ್, ಲೀನಿಯರ್ ಇದೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಕೇಳೋದು. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ 1 or 2 cos x sin x example we had done, you remember yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that kind of example they might ask. Okay, so to start practicing, this is very easy. From tomorrow we'll start maxima and minima. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will end the class then.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.